This is the Board of Public Works meeting of November 18th, 2024. It is 6:05. It's being held at the DPW Media Room at 965 Plain Street. Tonight we have 10 action items. We're going to vote to accept the minutes. We're going to have the superintendent's report, and our next meeting is to be determined.
We're thinking December 2nd.
December 2nd. And town meeting is when?
16th.
So it'll be 2 weeks before town meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. Of the action items tonight, we have number 1, Housing Authority non-payment. Number 2, hiring a consultant for Expolite Homes that has increased town sewer usage impact resulting in increased housing assessments. That'll be interesting to hear about that one. Number 3, draft regulations of the Couch Cemetery. Staff has been working on it, and we do have some kind of conclusions tonight. Number 4, vote for the DPW superintendent authority to file as a representative, as an authorized representative. Number 5, vote on size and dimension, proposed headstones at Couch Cemetery. That goes back to the draft regulations. Number 6 is contract 2025-12, bulldozer and operator services aware. Services aware?
I think it's a ward.
Award, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Typo, okay. Contract 2023-04, construction equipment rental and labor extension. Number 8, contract 2024-01, Plymouth Ave pump station, upgrade changes on number 1 for electrical service upgrade. Number 9, contract 2024-01, Plymouth Ave pump station, upgrade change order number 2, sewer intercept and wet well rehab. Number 10, vote on new snow and ice, snow plow rates for contractors. I hate the thought of that, God, snow coming up. Number 11, contract 2024-08, Dyke Road Sluice Way and Tie Gate designer selection. Those are the action items. There's no discussion, and the other ones are there. That is the agenda for tonight.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. So, for the first action item, Housing Authority non-payment. Mr. Superintendent.
I'm going to defer to John. John brought this to my attention last week.
So, there's no paperwork on it, so go ahead, John.
So what it is, there's a payment due to the enterprise sewer of $70,000. We've sent them a bill, correct, Sean?
That's correct.
We've sent them a bill some time ago. I think even you sent the second bill, maybe.
I'm not positive on that, John, but we did go out once.
Okay, so it hasn't been paid. That's the permit for when they tied in the sewer. We brought the sewer line up Moraine Street, and then the sewer grant they had of over $400,000 to connect the individual buildings to the sewer, and then connect it out the street to Moraine Street. So Rod had informed them prior to them even putting out the bid for the connections with somewhere around $350,000 to do the work. He had informed them to permit due to the enterprise sewer company was somewhere in the vicinity of $80,000. So when everything was connected and they did they took 2 years of bills and did an average of the water use, come up with a fee, and it came to $70,000. So it hasn't been paid. I think they might be ignoring it and see what we're gonna do. I don't know, if Kenny, do you have any input on this?
No, unfortunately, no, John.
It was Rod. My suggestion now is because there has to be penalties and fees attached to this. just like we do to any homeowner that unfortunately doesn't, ignores the bill or is in a position where they can't afford it. At that time, if they can't afford it, they come before us, and if it's a hardship, we take care of it. And this housing, it's not coming out of the housing monies, it's from the grant. So I have a suggestion, if this is not paid by our next meeting, we should have a meeting with the select board to find out exactly who can pay this bill, because the last time I talked with you, Kenny, we needed that money. It was gonna pay, that $70,000 was gonna take care of.
We can always use the money.
I know, but it was a certain thing that came to 70,000 thereabouts. I can't remember it myself.
I remember that it was it was an emergency,
Oh, that was the Plymouth,
The-
That was about 70
the
grand.
Avon, I was gonna say Avon Street, and I could remember.
You helped me, because I couldn't remember it all.
Yeah,
That's right,
that's
yes.
true, but
That was
those
emergency.
Yes.
those emergencies pop up
Right.
unexpectedly.
Yes.
So John,
Yes.
how late are they paying? 1 year, 2 years?
You know,
Or was the actual bill finally determined at 70,000?
Rod did the figures. Rod.
Recently, or was it?
Yes, recently, in the last month or so.
Oh, it's okay, last month.
Well, we talked about this at a meeting, was, he hadn't sent the bill yet at that point?
About a month ago.
So it's not that late.
No, but we need to bring it to light.
Right, I get that.
So he didn't bill them, because I can't remember why.
Once everybody on the board decided a figure, then we sent the invoice. And I would say that was probably a month or so ago. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It sounds right, yes. It was pretty recently.
So what we're looking for is the board to vote in which direction you folks want to go in.
So if they're late, they're late. We'll do a demand letter, just like like any other customer of the sewer department. We wouldn't treat them any different than my opinion is we wouldn't treat them any different than any business or any entity that's connected to the sewer. We'd treat them all the same.
No, you're correct. And I think that's the route to go with the letter, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
That would work, because they were aware of the charge being 80,000 back when, I think it was 20, some years ago, when this first
Before
developed.
my time.
Yeah, it was 2015 or somewhere around there. So they're well aware of the bill. They must have carried it in their grant application, because they were well aware of it. So, moving forward, send them a demand notice, like anybody else. Good suggestion, go ahead, right?
It was in September, because it was the discussion with the, we had this on a discussion, as part of a discussion.
So it was 2 months
At
ago.
our September, around that, I think the 16th, I think it was the 16th. Whatever the meeting was that week in September.
Okay, so then
So
what, set the bill out 30 days. We give them the normal amount of time that we would give anybody. We treat them exactly how any other customer would be given the same type of timeframes, and see what the reaction is.
Okay.
That's what I would do. But that's my position. What do you guys want to do?
Yeah,
Same thing?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine. Where are we sending the bill? To the executive director or to the housing itself? We have a housing member here.
Send it to Joe Pesovich.
Do you know, Mr.
Personally,
Do you know where the bill?
no, we'll have to look in the file,
Okay.
and see where it goes.
Well, they must have an accounting department.
They do. Yeah, we send it to the office, I believe,
Oh, downstairs to the, yeah. to the,
so.
John, if I might, Joe Pasevich, Wilson Road. Yeah, I'm not here speaking for the Housing Authority, although I am a commissioner. I mean, I've been striving for transparency and making clear the relationships between all the town departments and the Housing Authority. That's been my goal since I got elected. And now people are aware that the housing authority exists, which is great. As far as correspondence, yeah, it can be sent right to the T-Rock Garden office, where the assistant executive director works, during the week. And then from there, it would probably go right up to the Quincy Housing Authority office. That's probably the most straightforward way to do it. Anything you bring to that T-Rock Garden office will have to go to Quincy. The grant money that I've seen is over $770,000. And there's been 2 phases of connection to the town sewer. The multi-story apartments was finished this summer. That connection was finished this summer. And that phase came in around $360,000 or something like that. But prior to that, there were duplexes next to the multi-story buildings that was connected, I think, last year. So I think it's been done in 2 phases. And however you build on that first phase, I would think would, help you track down the history of the projects.
Rod knows about it, but do you guys have, just curiosity, if you guys seen, would you be voting on that bill, or it just
We'll be
goes?
voting on the grants, on the amounts, yeah.
Vote on paying the bill when the bill.
But as far as paying the contractors go, yeah, I've seen bills come in for the work that's been done.
So you haven't seen that?
I have. And the most recent phase, but the first phase happened before I was on the board. The second phase, which is the multi-story apartments that you see when you drive into that complex, that was done this summer. But then there was a big change order that went on top of that. So that's the only stuff that I'm more closely familiar with. But the overall grant was, as far as I understand it, was, and I can't tell you the specific source because we're funded by different mechanisms through the state for big projects like that. But as far as I know, it was somewhere in the vicinity of $780,000. And I would hope that the fees were well built into that. But sometimes it's not too easy to get the information, even for a commission.
Thanks.
I have a question, Mr. President. Have you seen the $70,000 invoice come in?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, that
As a board member, I haven't seen any invoices from the DPW.
Okay.
And like I said, the project was finished this summer. But then there was a change order that involved a section of additional paving. But I have not seen any $70,000 bill from the town.
So then now we go back to what I first said. Send them a reminder notice, send them a second notice out that the bill's due.
Right.
Okay. Any other items, any other discussion on this
You gotta vote.
one item?
You gotta vote on that.
We vote on that. I make a motion to send the second notice of the bill for $70,000 to the Housing Authority of payment not due, not received.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Item number 2, hiring consultants for extra polling homes.
Extrapolate. Let me explain that whole thing.
Oh, this is you?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
All right, so what it is, we did talk about this prior. I tried to get in touch with Libby Bates, who could extrapolate the beach property that's been improved due to town sewage. In other words, I made it a point some meetings ago that a piece of property on, it was like, it's called 4,000 square feet. I actually, through my company, where I now retired from, did work at this little cottage across from St. Anne's. And it had no inside plumbing other than a toilet and a sink and a kitchen sink, outside shower. It was assessed for around, I think, around $220,000, $250,000 due to the fact it was located right near the beach, not the home itself. Someone bought it, knocked it down, and built a McMansion on 4,000 square feet. The way they were able to do that is because it had town sewage. So it went from 250 assessment up to around 600,000. So that benefited the town's tax base. And it also added to our sewage to our treatment plants. So what I'm looking for is to see these homes that are being built on 5,000 square foot lots and maybe 6,000, and going from an assessment of 200, 250, all the way up to, 800,000. So the town is benefiting from the property being on town sewage, because other than that, they would never be able to build. It just wouldn't happen. They had no place for the septic. So, if we can come up with a figure of what the tax base has been increased due to the fact that town sewage in the property going from 200,000 to on average 600,000. That will show us that the town itself has benefited from the town sewage. We're just taking in the sewage, so we need the town to understand that they gotta help us out with these high-cost infrastructure repairs. We have to do something or we'll go bankrupt. And the town is benefiting, just don't know how much. It's quite a bit. So that's what I'm looking for. Libby Base didn't get back to me. So now I'm asking if we should hire a consultant, so.
As a staff member, I'm fully in favor of this. I think we're taxing our system an awful lot. We need to come up with an idea, make it suitable for all of us.
Yeah.
So I'm in favor of, I think Ken's on board too, to get somebody in as a consultant to do the study for us.
Yeah. Do we have anybody in mind? I mean, I know that meetings for the water sewer where we hire a consultant.
I want to do, we got to do a little research on this, because this is
Okay.
a different animal
Yeah.
than what we're used to. And
Yeah.
correct me again if I'm wrong, Ken, but I think it's probably a different
Yeah, I don't know, we'd have to look.
look.
Yeah. Have to look and kind of figure out what other towns are doing, but, yeah. I
Well,
agree.
not other towns. I mean, just keep it in our town.
No. it's-
No, what other towns do, there are other
What other
studies
towns
that
have hired?
Yeah.
They've hired.
do this kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So it can be done in an Excel spreadsheet.
So, yeah, the bottom line is, John, and I don't want to jump on it, but there's a discussion. I'm in agreement of hiring a consultant. It's a sort of an economic evaluation type of thing, because other towns like Hull, Hull, Situate, probably Plymouth, have similar type of, cottages going to McMansions. And basically that incremental increase, and sometimes it could be 2, 3, 4 times of what the assessment is, but the flow is increased also. We get paid per flush because of the usable water, but the thing is we're not getting the full benefit of any kind of incremental increase. The town's getting it, but the sewer system is not. So what we don't have is we don't have the knowledge to determine one way or the other. So I think it is a good idea to access a consultant that actually has done this for other towns to look at it.
Yeah.
So I would look at the procurement, based on hiring someone who has the experience dealing with this type of
I think what we would do is the same thing.
incremental increase.
Same thing we've done with some of the other studies we've done, was we put it out to bid. We bring, the bids come in, and we select the top 3 that we do interviews, like we did before, Ken. I think we've had pretty good success doing that in the past, so that's the way we want to do it.
So in the selection component, because this is John's issue, right? I think John should be on the selection committee.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we picked the top 3, John, you can sit in with us. when we-
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Bob, yeah.
I have a comment. Yeah, we've discussed this a few times. I'm in favor of it. It just, so that anybody watching understands what we're hoping to do with this is to get a picture of how the overall tax base has been increased to town hall, so that we can get a more of an even split in the cost of maintaining and repairing and
Correct.
expanding the sewer
I think
system.
it's
We
spot
can't
on.
do that with only the ratepayers paying into it.
Well, the
But
new
it
house,
benefits the whole town.
yeah, the new,
And this is a way of showing that.
well, the new owner would pay a share, but it's probably not incrementally increased to the same level that the assessment has gone up.
No, not at all. No, not even close.
That's what we need to look at.
We need a vote on this.
So I'll make a motion, we make the
I'm
motion.
glad that this is an action item.
Yeah, John, make a motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we put out the bid to hire a consultant to extrapolate the homes that have increased due to being, sewer being available.
And looking, and I'll further add, looking at the economic incremental increase of the assessment relation to the sewer charge.
Well,
So we want to make sure it's fair across the board.
yeah, we're not laying this on the individual homeowner.
No,
This is for the split with the town when we have a high cost of an infrastructure repair, or any repairs that there's only 4,100 people in the sewerage, enterprise sewer, and it's just getting too expensive. It eventually is be unaffordable.
When you're going from a 1,500 square foot house to a 4,000 square foot house, it's going to tax the system a little more, so you need to have a little bit of
Yeah,
split.
yeah,
Right.
a split with the fight at like 60-40 with, if we have a $6 million infrastructure repair, we'd do 60%, and the town, through the general fund, would kick in 40%.
So-
So even go 50%, but that's down the road, once we find out what this number is.
Yeah, let's find out what the study says.
so we'll do the study. So, and also in that motion, I recommend that John Kuzak represent the board in this procurement.
Second.
You have a second?
Yeah, a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
All right, thanks, Bob.
Okay, next item, draft we're gonna do number 3 and number 4, number 3 and number 5 together.
Together.
Correct.
All right, we're going to discuss the draft regulations of Couch Cemetery, and we're going to vote on the size and dimension of proposed headstones at Couch Cemetery, both of us, Couch Cemetery. I'm going to turn this over to the superintendent.
Thank you. So, in your packets, you'll find the draft of the regulations. We've pulled some information from different towns, we've used the information from our town, and we've put together a new packet of regulations that we need the board to review. I want to take our time on this and do it correctly, so you have the draft now, so take your time and review that. We're not going to vote on that tonight. What we want to vote on is the size of the headstones. And I have consulted with the Cemetery Trees and Greens Department and their supervisors, and we come up with an idea that I think would make everybody happy. And
So let's go, that's number 3, okay? So there's no action item on number 3 other than letting the board know that the draft regulations that we're going to be working on
Correct. We're not gonna
as a
vote.
base.
I'm not voting on
We're not going to vote on that. Number 5,
Can I ask a question?
sure, go ahead.
So, well, I'll take this home and read it with my glasses on, because it's this tiny. But when we've read through all of this, you looking for feedback on it?
it. Yes.
Okay, all right. Great, thanks. Okay, so number 5.
So basically, number 3 is a draft.
Yep.
And basically, after we get input from everybody from the draft, they will go to final. It will be presented to the board at future time.
Okay.
All right, the second component, which is an action item, is in which we promised at a previous board member meeting that we were going to discuss the proposed headstones that will be allowed at Couch Cemetery, both the size and the dimension. And so let's go to number 5, item number 5.
I'm there.
Okay, go ahead.
So, we decided that a 2-foot by 3-foot by 1-foot upright headstone would be sufficient or satisfactory for both, hopefully, the residents and the staff on the maintenance side of things. And we're looking to allow that across the board, except for range 5 with its the U shape in front of the back of the columbarium. Those will remain flat markers, but everywhere else we're going to allow, or want to allow, the 2 by 3 by 1 foot headstones.
Except for 5?
Except for 5.
Because it says 5 is yellow, right?
5 is yellow.
Because it says upright headstones.
That's just strike that.
Strike that
Oh,
out.
that's not correct.
No.
No.
No, I forgot to cross that out.
So those are flat.
Those
So
are
that's
main
the-
flats.
That's the U-shaped section.
That's the use case section. How many folks are here from for the cemeteries?
Okay. So the issue is that we're going to allow a 2 by 3 by 1 upright headstone across the board for consistency. All of them are going to be the same. There's no variation. Other than section 5, it will all be headstones, it'll all be consistent.
That's correct.
Two wide, 3 high, 1, just curious which is which.
I believe it's 2 wide and 3 high.
Can you speak up? I can't, I have to. well,
Could you state your name and if you have a comment, please?
I was just talking.
Oh,
Just confirming the 2, Nancy Braun, 65 Ocean, just confirming the width, height, depth measurement. So what I understand it to be is 2 feet wide, 3 feet high, and 1 foot
Deep.
depth. That's all, I was just
Yeah.
confirming, thank you.
And all the headstones are going to be the same. So all the new
Same.
sections going to be consistent across the board versus having no headstones. So we're going to be consistent with all headstones, all the same uniform versus no headstones at all. So we went from no headstone to 2 headstones, but small, consistent across the board.
that okay?
Except for the middle piece where there's a round piece, and that whole section in there there'll be flat markers in those sections. Because the original design had that, has no headstones in there. So the rows coming up to it, and then the rows behind the driveway will have the headstones, but the middle section where the cremation monuments are, and the ones around there, there'll be no markers. So,
Okay, so that's one other question. In
Sure.
terms of when you say uniform, can the headstone itself does it uniform across, or is
The
just
material-
size?
yeah, the size and the material should be all the same.
Yeah, okay.
Whatever you put on it, it doesn't matter.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Do you want to pass the map around so you can all see? I'll make more afterwards, I just want to have a for the meeting.
Where number 5, section 5, which is in the yellow, is the area where there's no headstones. Everything else will have headstones.
They would, they don't have it.
I gave them a copy, John, to pass it
Yeah, I
on.
know.
If you want to give it to the people in the back, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Turn this south to get to
No, it's not bad.
It's fine.
I feel like I'm back in Florida. Okay. So having reviewed that, I would like to put it on the floor for any further discussion before we vote. Any discussion? Okay? So I'd like to make a vote to, for the size and dimensions of the proposed hedgerow and count cemetery to be consistent across the board, as the superintendent mentioned. 2 by 3 by 1 foot.
Perfect.
Across the board, same material. The design that's on the headstone, you put anything you want, but the size.
Sorry.
Yes, Ian, one question?
Yeah, the color doesn't matter, right? It's just.
Color's consistent across the board. It's gonna be consistent.
Color? So what's the color you can choose?
We didn't discuss color,
We just,
right? I mean, how many color?
Yeah, there's like black and,
right, the front,
you just,
we were looking at the consistency across the board, including color.
You all right? That-
We haven't discussed color.
Yeah, we didn't
So
say
let's
all.
discuss color.
Why can't it be any color?
the board was the size.
Our Callahan, Managed Street Club, just if you could tell us what the acceptable color is, because I think the plan was to order these, because it takes a couple of months, so if
So the,
Right, we haven't discussed color at all, right?
right,
No, we have not discussed color.
so to be consistent across the board, the centerpiece is, I would like to see some kind of consistency in color shade of what's in the middle.
You're talking about the section where the flat markers are, or?
The Coliseum.
What he's talking about is the stone itself. Having it one color, I don't know if you can really do that.
No, I don't agree with that.
I think, most of the stones
like
I've seen are gray or black.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem. Gray and black is,
I mean, how many colors are there in headstones? You're not gonna have neon headstones.
There's pink,
gray and black is,
Yeah.
no, I'm
there's
right.
gray, black,
Green, black,
there's
all right.
brown.
Is that all right?
Gray or black, yeah,
All
that's,
right.
Gray and black, I'm fine with.
okay, thank you.
You good with that?
Personally, I do not think that we should be limiting people's color choice
I agree.
on the headstone for their loved one that they're burying. The size is important because of maintenance of the cemetery, but I think, honestly, it's not fair to say that you can't have pink if your grandmother's favorite color was pink. It's not, that's not gonna be like neon colors through a cemetery. People don't do that. It's
No, the colors I've seen are a shade of pink, brown, black.
They're all
or gray.
muted colors anyway.
They
They're
are
either
muted.
black granite or gray or muted colors.
So any color is okay.
I don't have a problem with color. I don't.
So it'd be any color.
Size, I would like to be the same size.
The size is gonna be the size that Matt stated that would work, right? You guys discussed it.
But it's all.
Sorry, I'm not trying to take total control over this, but I don't want to tell people that they can't have, a pastel pink or whatever colors. They're not outrageous colors. They're in headstones, stupid comment.
Joe Pasevich, Wilson Road. May I make a suggestion that at least to further, better define on the issue of color and material, that you put in the term natural stone? Because I wouldn't want to see, there might be a trend down the road when some synthetic type of material gets created and it's got, swirls and sparkles and, who knows? So if you just limit it slightly by just saying it shall be natural stone.
I don't know that that's true. I
That's
don't know
right.
what natural stone means. I
Natural stone
don't
is a
know.
natural color. It's not glossy, correct me if I'm wrong, it's more of a flat.
Well, I mean,
The granitic.
My schooling as a geologist, we studied igneous rocks and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, just in this region, you can get granite in various shades of gray with different, inclusions and colors. But all I'm talking about is just the limiter, the limiting statement, natural stone, so that you don't get some kind of synthetic crazy
So I
thing.
would accept that as a definition. So I would like to vote on the size of a 2 by 3 by 1 dimension as consistent across the board with a natural granitic type stone. And that would be the type of stone it would be. The variation of the color would be the family's choice.
Okay,
That would be my motion.
second.
That's good.
Yeah, see, like that.
Yeah.
Those
That
are,
would- Right,
I mean, they're all headstones.
right. So that would be my choice. That would be my motion. Do I have a second?
Can you repeat it? I'm sorry.
So my,
Was natural
we vote, I make a motion to determine, that they have the size of the stone of 2 by 3, 2 feet wide, 3 feet tall, 1 foot thick, of a natural granitic type of stone, which the family can choose the shade.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There you go.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's everybody involved.
Okay, you got us off.
Thank you for your.
Went off to 0, we got on to 1.
Thank
All right,
you, Sean.
okay.
Yeah,
Thank-
thanks very much.
You're more than welcome.
Thank you so
And that the draft regulations is a work in progress, we're moving forward, but you have what you need to do what you have to do.
much. So we can order now?
You sure
You can
can.
order now.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
And then you can work with the cemetery department and the superintendent on any kind of base structure. And I mean, the foundations would have to go in before the frost.
Ask you a question.
Sure.
No,
The
that's
purposes of
fine, yeah.
Massasoit asked, do you see any value in sharing the draft of regulations with townspeople that might be interested in giving you input on that?
Yeah, but we can have the draft.
Right.
That means that the whole thing could be thrown out and start over, but it is a proposal that staff has come up with as a draft for discussion purposes.
How about
Well,
And
we're
when
gonna
we do
be,
this?
we're gonna be
We,
voting something.
thank you. You guys look at it, see what you think, vote on it, and let these folks take a look at it.
Yeah, so let's go through the draft first. Come up with this is a rough draft. We'll come up with a final draft. We'll put the final draft on the website
Perfect.
and then ask people for their input on the final draft before we make a final to it. And this is what it was in the last meeting, that we were going to vote on a draft and then get public input, because it's our town. It's not my town, it's my town too, but it's collectively, I want to have the feedback from people so that we live with this in the future. I mean, by you folks coming, we went off of flat markers to a consistent, across the board, a headstone. And it was input well thought out by staff and myself and our board, that we actually heard what you asked us to do, and we are moving forward. What we're not doing is not moving that centerpiece and keeping that all flat, because that's the plan for the new section. Okay.
Understandable. And then I just, one other question, and that is, so the size is the standard regardless of like, if you have one name or two name or a double plot or anything like
It's just
that?
one,
One standard size throughout the whole thing.
right,
Do that section,
Okay.
those sections.
Thank you very much.
right. Okay,
Thank you. Thank you.
let's go back to item number 4, the vote on DPW superintendent's authority to file as authorized representative. And then, Mr. Superintendent, in what aspect are you filing as authorized representative?
So if you look in to the prior, form in here with Tom Reynolds' name on it, all the treasurer collector is looking to do is have my name added to it, so I have the authority to file applications, execute agreements for grant or loan assistance on behalf of the board, pretty much. Pretty much the way we do a contract, you know, the board signs
So this
off on it.
is relating to any grants that we are applying for? Okay,
Just grants.
just grants.
Okay.
So the people at home know that when when DPW applies to the Mass DEP under the Massachusetts Water Pollution Abatement Trust, under Chapter 21, Chapter 29 of the general laws. We're authorized to make loans to municipalities and for the purpose of funding and planning construction activities relating to the water pollution abatement projects. The board is authorizing Sean Patterson as the legal authority to speak for the board.
Second.
So that was my motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Second?
Yeah, I did second it.
Yep.
On second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Well said, John.
okay. The next item is contract 2025-12 bulldozer and operator services award. Mr. Superintendent.
Have you, Ken?
Yes. So the scope of this work is to provide bulldozer and operator to support the DPW on an as-needed basis. Potential work for this agreement consists of grading of our dirt roads, grading of ball fields, access roads, and any other work that we have. Last year, we had some work at the landfill where we needed the bulldozer, so we used that contract for this. It's a one-year contract with 2 one-year extensions at the sole discretion of the town. In October, we went out and advertised this bid. We had an incumbent in there since 2022, I believe. Wayne Lopes Grading. He was the only one who actually responded to this. So in his last contract, he was at 125 an hour. For the first 2 years, it went up to 130. He bid this one at 160, 163, and 168. We came up with an estimate of, we did 400 hours each time, then it would be over the 3-year span, $196,400. As far as funding goes, we have money every year for road reconstruction. That's $60,000, and then also in previous years when we have these one-time projects come up, we take the money out of whatever we have, whether it was last year it was solid waste facilities repair, capital water projects, whatever projects we might have going, is where the money would come from. We've used Wayne Lopes Grading since 2022. They do an outstanding job. They work really well with us as well as the residents of Marshfield, and they were the only ones who bid on this. So recommendation is to go ahead and award this contract to Wayne Lopes Grading of Marshfield.
So year one, if I heard you correctly, is $160 an hour.
Yes.
Year two is $163 an hour. And year three is $168 an hour.
That's correct.
And he's gone up 15% from 130 to 160.
Yes.
It's about 15, but something like that. With fuel and all adjustments, everything, okay. And then the previous contract was for a 3-year contract also, or 2-year?
It was the same thing. It was a 1-year contract with 2 one-year renewables.
Okay, fine.
That's the same as this one.
Okay. So he raised his prices to head to determine where the economic piece is going to go.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I'll make the motion unless there's discussion.
No,
Good question.
Having no discussion, I would like to make the motion to award bulldozer and operating services contract 2025-12 to Wayne Lopes Grading of Marshfield, Mass. for an estimated value of $196,400, and to authorize the chairman or designated member to execute the contract documents when they have been prepared. Do I have a second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, next item, number 7, contract 2023-04, construction equipment rental and labor extension. Is this you also?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's got the next 3.
Okay, next 3, okay, good.
So this again is one of our typical contracts. It's a 1-year contract with 2 one-year renewals. So this contract is for basically an extension of our DPW work. So it's whether we need equipment or we need manpower to do whatever jobs that we don't have enough labor or resources to take care of. Funding comes from various sources, again, usually project related. So we have had Mass Pavement Reclamation doing this. They formerly were up Hanover, but they're so happy with Marshfield that they actually moved their locations to Marshfield. They are now in Marshfield on Claypit Road. They've been very responsive on everything that we've done. Typical work that we've done with them just even over the past year was doing the Ashburton sewer replacement. They did some work on the Esplanade, getting ready for the Esplanade upgrade project, moving the water main, relocating sewer and water services. They helped, we had that emergency repair at the Avon Street force main, and they worked on the countryway drainage improvements as well as a whole bunch of other little projects that we had throughout the year. So recommendation from staff is to go ahead and extend this contract for another year.
So this is a one-year contract only?
It's the same as the other one, so it's a 1 year, it's a 1 year renewable contract. So this is actually the 3rd year of that contract. So we had the 1 year contract, we did one extension of it, this is the
last year.
This is the last year, yes.
All right, any comments from the board?
No, I'm fine.
Make the motion to extend contract 2023-04, last year of the contract, construction, equipment, rental, and labor with Mass Pavement Reclamation Incorporated, Marshall, Mass, for 1 additional year starting November 15th, 2024, and to authorize the chairman or designated member to execute the contract documents when they are prepared. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, next item.
So the next item is in regards to the Plymouth Avenue Pump Station Upgrade Project. We awarded Disco Building Systems of Fall River, Massachusetts, the project in May of 24 for $6,639,797.91. They started that work in July. The original scope for that work was to just put in a handhold. If you look at Plymouth Avenue, there's a pole on the left of the station. We have conduits, cables running down to the station, to the corner of the station where we actually put a new generator room. So we expanded the station. The original plan was to just put a handhold, which is an access point in the yard, in front of that addition onto the building, and run new cable into the building. When we were doing the addition, we found out that the existing cable we had is bad. It's really bad. Like, we're lucky that the station still runs, kind of bad. So we said, why are we not replacing the entire thing from the utility pole all the way back in? And do we want to leave this questionable stuff while we do this work, which is going to take us another 18 months or so to do? So we asked them to go out and to actually give us a bid on replacing it from the pole to the handhold, giving us a temporary service while we're doing the work, and then connecting it up as the existing contract said you would do. So they came back to us, they gave us a proposal for $69,581.76 to do this work. So funding for the project, if we go ahead, we had $8.1 million that the town voted for this Plymouth Avenue pump station that we said we were going to defray out of wastewater enterprise fund, and we got the SRF grants for that so that we would get a low interest rate to pay it back over time. We're concerned with contingencies and adding on to the project, mainly because when we went out to bid, the electrical component of the bid was significantly higher than we thought it was going to be. So we're actually going to this December town meeting and asking to authorize an upgrade, an additional onto that 8.1 million to get it up to 9 million. So this 69,000 that we're asking for would be covered in that. So our recommendation is to go ahead and issue change order 1 in the amount of $69,581.76 to do this upgrade on the electrical service at the pump station.
Comments from the board?
Where's the other 69,000 coming from on town meeting? Where's the,
900,000.
It's 900,000. It's what we're adding to the 8.1 to get up to
$9 million.
$9 million.
oh, okay, so where,
Again, we're going
Is it-
to get the 2% funding, the loan from SRF. We're
Oh,
gonna go
okay.
back to them and say that the project has increased in scope and we need more money.
Okay.
And that's on December 16th?
Yes.
Okay.
It's hard to 23.
Any other comments from the board?
No, it's something we need to do, so.
You need the power.
To keep,
Can't run the system without it.
that's right. So, you know, we got-
All right, so I'll make a motion to authorize the execution of change order number 1, to contract number 2024-01 to, how do you say the guy's name?
Bisco.
Visco Building Systems Incorporated of Fall River, Massachusetts, in the amount of $69,581.76 to upgrade the existing electrical services at the pump station and provide temporary service during the construction, and to authorize the chairman or designate to execute the agreement when it is prepared. Second, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, having heard a second?
Yeah, he said, aye.
Aye. Unanimous. John Kuzak, seconded. All right, the last, number 9, 2024-01, Plymouth Avenue Pump Station Upgrades, change order number 2. Ken?
Yes, so I'm gonna say we may not be.
Same thing?
It may not be change order number 2, just because when we did this project, again, we were looking at the scope of it, we realized that the main sewer line, the gravity line that comes into it, really probably needs some work. Again, if we're doing all this work on the pump station, we should probably have a good sewer line running into it. And the wet well needed some concrete repairs, and it needs to be lined to protect it. So we actually went out to bid to see if we could get bids on doing that work. It was bid as a standalone project. We'd like to wrap it into this contract because when we went out to bid, we got 2 bids. The lowest bid that we received was Visco. So it makes sense to me to add it as a change order onto the project. I'm not sure our engineers feel that way because they went out to bid separately. So I'm still arguing that with them. But what I'm looking for from the board is the authorization to, whichever way we decide to contract it, to still go ahead and award this extra work to Visco.
So it was a separate procurement.
It was a separate procurement, but it's all the same Plymouth Avenue Pump Station project,
Right.
so.
So
Makes sense
it's
for the
more
town.
how you're going accounting for it.
Yes, and from my perspective, for the town's perspective, it would be easier to do as a change order.
Fine.
Yeah.
So I make the motion as the board to authorize Visco Building Systems of Fall River to perform the cleaning, the CCTV inspection and lining of the existing 36-inch sewer, and to repair the concrete and line to wet well at Plymouth Avenue Pump Station for $384,728, and authorize the chairman or designate to execute the agreement when it's prepared. And could be either a standalone accounting or change order number 2, whatever is the best way to account for this work under the umbrella of the repair, for the rehabilitation of the pump station.
Yes.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Unanimous. John Kuzak, second.
Thank you very much.
All right, next, number 10, vote on new snow and ice snow plow rates for contractors. Mr. Superintendent.
Yes, sir. So I'm looking for the spreadsheet.
So I have it here.
John,
So we have a new schedule. Equipment, 1-ton 4x4 truck with minimum 9-foot angle plow. The old rate is 109, new rate is 120.
Correct.
6-wheel dump truck with a minimum 10-foot plow. The old rate is 117, the new rate is 129.
Correct.
10-wheel dump truck with a minimum 11-foot plow. Old rate is 148, the new rate is 163.
Correct.
Steer skid, old rate 130, new rate 143.
Correct.
1.5 cubic yard wheel loaded with a minimum of 10-foot plow backhoe. O-rate 130 for 130 and 143 and 143. And then a 3 cubic yard wheel loader with minimum 11-foot plow, 150 O-rate, 165 the new rate. And then greater than a 3-yard wheel loader. The old rate is 190, the new rate is 110.
210.
210,
Correct.
that is the new rates. Any comments from the board?
No, I think that, we need equipment and drivers for that. Everything's gone up, so I think we should approve this. I think the superintendent has really looked over this and understands that in order to get the personnel and the equipment, that we have to pay more.
Okay?
I think we're not gonna get snow.
Good answer.
That's my prediction.
All right, so I'll make a motion that we don't have snow this summer?
Perfect.
Summer, well, winter.
The summer.
Summer or
For
winter,
winter, for summer or winter.
right? Because it never snows in summer, right?
Who knows?
Okay. Maybe it will, who knows? Somewhere.
On
So I'll make a
Christmas
motion
costumes.
to accept the new rates for snow and ice, for the equipment, as per the schedule, which was just stated and the superintendent prepared. Do you have a second?
Second.
John Kuzak, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. All right. Number 11, contract 2024-08, Dyke Road Sluice Gates and Tie Gate Designer Selection.
I believe that Ron tabled this one.
Okay, that's why I wasn't sure.
Yes. He's not ready to talk about this one yet.
No.
Okay, so that's passing, we're passing over number 11.
Yes.
Okay, now, do we have minutes?
Yep.
Let's go through the minutes and then go to the superintendent's report. The minutes of October 21st, 2024.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I already read them.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, make a motion to accept the minutes as written. Second?
Second.
John Kuzak, second.
Aye.
All in favor? Aye. Unanimous. Last item is the superintendent's report.
Okay. So, first thing I'll talk about is, we have Teal Edwards. It was supposed to come in here next week, but maybe the following week, because we have rain coming in the end of this week, to pave Mayflower and Country Way. All the drainage is done, the trench work is attached, and now we're just gonna pave it and get it all done before it starts to snow. So that's on target for the next week or so anyways to get done. Once they come in, they'll get it done in a day and a half, get out of it. Cemetery trees and greens is very busy with fall cleanups. And we get the equipment maintenance crews going through all our sanders and plows, make sure that they're ready to go for the winter. And we have a little bit of work to do. Ken, do you want to give an update on the Bullnose project, since you've been down there every
Yeah,
day?
so the Grant Rock Esplanade, if anybody's been down there, it's a bit of a mess right now. It has to get worse before it can get better. But we're finishing up the excavation of all the old pavement. We're hoping to get a grader in there tomorrow to start bringing in some new material to grade it all up for the proper grades. And then hopefully we will get the binder on it. The plan again was before Thanksgiving with the weather coming out. We'll see, but that's the plan. And then it'll look much different. And then it'll be, so the pavement will all be done, the bullnose will be established, and then it'll be all the work around the edges with sidewalks and curbing and it'll continue on. But that's where we are.
That's all I have.
No, you
Can I
don't.
ask you,
Huh?
can
You do not.
Who else do I have?
can I ask you,
Lance.
country drive,
Go ahead.
when they gonna pave it?
I just said, either the end of this week or next week.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah, Teal Edwards is coming in.
Out of here.
Yeah.
Talk about the land.
Oh, although you do that.
What?
The land, we have it on the warrant for the town meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
That's-
talk about that.
The Friday before the warrant closed, I got 2 days before, I got a call from
Yeah, that's all right.
Cindy Castro saying that there was a piece of property that it actually abuts the entrance of a Furnace Brook, what number? Furnace Brook 3, well,
I know the address is 843.
right on Main Street, right at Old Main Street. And it's surrounded by waterland all around it. And there's this one house in the middle of it, right at the entrance of the pump station. And I guess it's on a septic system, not a septic system, a cesspool now,
Oh,
right? And it's for sale. And the owners would accept the tax assessment.
wow, fantastic.
So we talked and with town council,
Mm-hmm. And we talked to the town administrator.
town administrator, and we put it on the agenda
Great,
to buy it for the current tax assessment.
great.
And it's going to town meeting. Without that, that means that there would be contamination within the zone 2, but it's just outside the zone 1. And really, it makes sense that, because everything else around is all waterland.
Right.
So when we go to town meeting, we'll have the map up, show exactly where it is, and basically, it's, in my mind, it's a very good buy.
It certainly is.
So that's why it's on town meeting floor. I talked to Open Space, the supporting office. We're using water funds,
Mhm.
and we haven't bought any land in years. This is the first piece we've bought since you've been superintendent, and before that,
Oh, no.
it's been probably like 8 or 9 years since we bought a piece of water supply land
Last
to
few
protect our
pieces,
water supply.
that was the deputy superintendent, was 80 Union Street and
That's probably 15 years.
It was one on Furnace.
the property on Ferry Street and 3A.
That was under CPC.
Yeah, but, no, we did one on, coming down Tree A and then
Yes, you did.
take a left on the Furnace. and-
Right. That was paid, that was to a water, that was to a grant.
Yeah, but I mean, no, we're just saying, I'm not, you know, I'm not talking about funding. It's just that in the past 2 or 3 years, well, maybe it's longer, 5
Yeah,
years,
it's like 6, 7 years.
we, that belonged to the Feeney.
Right.
All right, yes.
Great,
So in the write-up, we still can apply for a grant to help pay for it. So we will go after grant money, but we will use water supply money to purchase it, and then we'll go after to see if we can get some of that back from a grant.
Yeah. All for it.
Well done.
Okay.
perfect.
Good call.
Next meeting is December 2nd, and then town meeting is December 16th.
Correct.
I have nothing else. Having nothing, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn,
Second.
and see you on December 2nd.
Second.
Second,
All
oh,
in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.